How's it going? I'm here at one of my job sites, and I've found quite a few arrowheads in the area. And so I haven't been over here actually for a couple months. It's just been so wet, and I've moved my equipment, and I was waiting for it to dry up some of these brush piles so I could come back and burn them on this property. But we've had a bunch of rain and a bunch of ice and snow over the last couple months, and this bare ground, I'm hoping, has settled some and uncovered a lot of rocks and different things. Get here in the sun, because some of my videos I noticed that the GoPro does not work well when I'm backlit. But anyway, I'm going to come over here, and I think I've actually found my first point, so I wanted to get the camera started before I go pick it up. But hopefully we'll walk this for a few minutes and see if we can find a few points. Now let me see if I actually can remember where this point was, since I was walking around and talking. Oh, there we go. So I think it's right here. Let's see. Can we see it? Right here. Let's pick this one up. It's got a broken tip, unfortunately. And I'm not up to date on what each point is. I can just always kind of tell if it's an arrowhead, but I don't necessarily know the name. But you've got a broken tip here, but you can tell looks like it's been sharpened down a couple times. I've actually got a little bit right there. And right there is still pretty sharp, so not a perfect example of a point, but I always find it amazing to touch something that nobody has touched in 1,000 years. It just lets you be part of history in a way. I've always found that fascinating. So I'm gonna keep walking and see if I can find a few more. All right, I found something. I'm not sure if this is actually an artifact or not. I already picked it up. I kind of set it back down where it was, but it looks like it's broken off on the bottom. And I don't know if that's, what they call a fire broken rock. I can't tell, if it's got some coloration. But, looking at it, you've got the nice rounded shape, and then the way it's broken off, I don't know if that was purposeful or not. But it just doesn't seem like it would just naturally be like this. So I'm gonna hold on to it just in case. It's just something unique, and maybe I'll post in some Facebook forums and see if anybody thinks it might be anything, because I'm pretty new to this hobby, so I don't quite know what everything is yet. But let's keep looking. All right, so I've spotted something else here on the surface that looks like could possibly have been a broken point. Right here, we have this quartz. It's very clear quartz. And to me, it looks like it was a point at some time, and that was the ear here on the point. Definitely looks like from the shape that it's been worked on both sides, but broken off a long time ago. But it's very clear. Very clear. Look at that. I would love to find a point, a whole point made with that type of quartz. That would be awesome. All right, so I've walked up on something else here. I haven't touched it yet, but it could be one of those rocks that looks like it could be something. I'm pretty sure it's broken. If it is a point, when I pull it out, it's really probably just going to be the tip of it. So let's see here. to me, you know, being the novice that I am, I feel like that looks like a point or a scraper or something. It looks like it's worked along this edge. Let's see. And then over to like a point. But it comes back and it has like a stem right here. It was like broken off. So see, it's worked around that edge all the way around to a stem. I don't know, maybe if that was a drill of some sort. But it definitely looks like it's been worked. So I don't know if it's a point or not. It might be a flake. You never look, always look, find little pieces here on the ground. Around here, most of the points I've found in this area that I live in are either quartz or quartzite, or quartzite. I like the quartz, the really white ones, and then the ones that look almost clear. Those are my favorites. Quartzite is is not as attractive to look at, but they're still very cool points. But like any arrowhead hunter, I'm waiting for the day that I pull out like a 4, 5, 6 inch blade that's completely whole. I see them on the videos on YouTube. I'm always waiting for it to be that day that I just stumble upon, you know, that once in a lifetime find. So, all right. I'm doing a little more walking here on the spot. I honestly haven't been here maybe 30 minutes. I've already found several broken points and what is either a broken off drill or possibly a scraper of some type. But I think I may have found a point here that might be the most whole point that I've found so far. It's right there. Can we see it? Let's see. Pull this thing out. Yeah. I forget what this type is called, but another quartz point. I found a couple like this in this site. Yeah. Very cool. So there we go. Another find. So I just cut the camera off because I picked up that last point and I see this thing on the ground. Not sure what it is. It's probably just a rock. But you never know. It has this funny little notch right here. So I just wanted to have the camera running, but honestly I don't think it's anything but a rock. So yeah, false alarm. Alright, I haven't found any completely whole points yet. I think I may have found a blank here. This piece, let's pick it up. It's definitely broken, but you can see it's been worked. You can see where big flakes have been taken off of it. So it was maybe the start of a point. Just hadn't quite gotten there yet. Alright, stumbled across something else here. Not sure what it is yet. It just has some odd looking edges. It was poking out of the ground. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, look at that. Look at that one. This may be the most whole point I've found today. Look at that thing. You always gotta have your eyes peeled. I was about ready to leave. When the sun gets at a certain angle out here, because the ground's not perfectly smooth, you get a lot of weird shadows. And unless you're walking in a certain direction with the sun, your eye, it's hard to track things that are on the ground. It's easy to find these quartz points because they're white, and that white jumps out at you. But the points made of the other materials that aren't as, that don't contrast the dirt as well, are harder to see. So I feel like as I'm walking, who knows how many points I've probably walked over, even though I found a bunch of broken points. That's the first, I feel like, it's a whole point that I've found. So I'm actually pretty pleased with this, how it's gone. I've maybe spent about 45 minutes out here walking, and I'm going to probably make my way back to the truck now. There's a couple other things I wanted to do before the sun goes down today, but this was just something for me to get out here and have a little time with one of my hobbies that just really just picked up. To be honest, this property here has kind of gotten me back onto arrowhead hunting. When I was a little kid, I used to find one occasionally here and there. Found a few on the family farm, which is the adjoining property to this, but I never really thought much about it until I was out here clearing this land, and actually I was just working a chainsaw, cutting up some trees, happened to look down, and there was a nice point right on the ground. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So then I kept working here and found another one, and then I found another one, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna start looking actively looking for these. And I've probably found I don't know, 30 or 40 points, or partial points, I guess. Not all of them were whole, but I've probably found at least 30 or 40 points off this one little spot, less than an acre. So I'm pretty sure there was a camp here, probably I would say during the woodland period, because I think most of the points I'm finding are woodland period points. So there was definitely a camp here, you know, during the woodland period. And it makes sense because not 200 yards that direction, there's a creek, and that creek actually follows on my property and dumps into another creek, which then dumps into another river. And then there's another creek a half mile this way that's a pretty good sized one, that is actually the smaller version of the river before 2 or 3 of these creeks go into it. So you got water, and these are up on the high spots away from the water, so you don't have to worry about the flooding and the wetness. So I'm assuming, you know, this up on this little knoll right here was probably a great place to have a camp. But that is my, you know, opinion as a non-archaeologist. So I'm gonna work my way slowly back to the truck, but I think that last point that I just found may be my last one for the day. But if I find another one, I'll cut the camera back on and show you all what it looks like. Just a flake. Find a lot of flakes. I could pick up handfuls of flakes out here of this quartz every day that I come out here. All right, I've got out my finds for today. I spent probably an hour and 15 minutes walking around this little spot right here. Just kind of call it my honey hole, because honestly, almost every time I come here to look for artifacts, I find at least something, whether it's a broken point or a whole point. And so looking at them, this was the last one I found. That was the most complete point. Tip's actually still pretty sharp. that was the most complete point that I had. This was the first one. It's been worked. Then I found some sort of blade, a broken point, but it's the clear quartz, which I really like. I would love to find a whole point in that. This kind of lance point. Tip's broken off of it. What appears to be some sort of scraper or something. It looks like there's a piece that broke off right here, like it was a drill, but it's definitely been worked around. So I don't know if it's a little blade, scraper, broken drill, what that is. This was some sort of preform that I found. It was broken, unfortunately. And then these are two flakes I found, and they're kind of, it's hard to tell with all the dirt on them, but they kind of have a greenish look to them. It's kind of a greenish look. So I don't know if that's some type of flint or what. You know, I'm not an expert on this, very new to it all. But I know that around here, when it comes to it, you know, these quartz points and then these quartzite points are the main two types I find. And so I actually found this flake first, and I thought it was unusual. I'm just not used to seeing it around here, this flint. I'm assuming it's flint. Maybe somebody can tell me, help me learn a little bit more about it. So, well, I appreciate y'all coming along. I appreciate y'all coming along and joining me on my little hunt today. We found a few points. It's always a good time to get out and walk around and look at the ground. But until next time, see y'all later.